Hoopers, it is LoopDLu. I am here with a tutorial on brakes, and it's an all levels tutorial, so if you're brand new to brakes, there'll be a lot that'll be good for you. And if you've been doing brakes for a while, I've got a lot of variations that you may or may have not seen before, and tips for getting speed up and for putting more variety into your brakes. So from the very beginning, brakes would be, the definition would be anytime the hoop's going in one direction, you stop it and send it in the other direction. So something like this. We typically think of brakes as being an on-body thing. This would be your standard brake. The other thing that kind of gets lumped in with brakes is paddles. Paddles would be anytime you're pushing the hoop along in the same direction. So doing that would be a paddle when you're hitting it faster, like that. So that would be a paddle and a brake together. The standard brake would be this. It's the most common brake that you'll see. There's two directions of brakes, leading and following. And I don't know if a lot of people ever really break that down in tutorials, so I wanted to go over that. A leading brake would be kind of the standard brake. When the hoop is coming towards that hand, this hand would be considered the leading hand because the hoop's coming towards it, and you would brake it back this other direction. So this is leading, 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 leading. Following would be, the hoop's coming that way, I'm gonna brake it with this hand, so it's like swoops behind it. It's like it's following the hoop and brakes it. So leading, 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 leading. This is follow, follow, leading, following. I typically do these in 3, so leading, following, leading, leading, following, leading, like that. So that will get you a little variety in your braking if you start braking from both directions. So that would be your standard brake. The next type would be under the hoop with your palms out. It's a little variation of that last one. Instead of keeping your palms towards the hoop, you're putting them out. There's a lot less grip going on with this, so you need to have your timing down before you really delve into these. You may end up bruising yourself a little. I kind of get bruises here. When it's coming towards you, you brake more in your wrist. When it's going across your body, you're going to brake more on the back of your hand here. So again, that's like this. Leading, following, leading, leading, following, leading. You can throw paddles in with that too to create more variety. The next type of brake I will go over is pinch brakes, which are all these other brakes where under the hoop, where your arms are coming up and under. Pinch brakes, you're going to be over the hoop. So they're typically done at the armpit, and it's called a pinch brake because you're literally pinching the hoop in there. You can also do them at your waist, and I'll show that in a second. But to do an upper brake, you just bring your hand down. I tend to keep my arm bent so that you can hit your forearm and your upper arm. It kind of gives you a wider zone of impact so that it's not all taken, like the blow's not all taken in one part of your arm, because then you'll end up with a pretty massive bruising. So this kind of breaks it down a little. These would all be leading. If I turn with it, I can probably do following brakes. This way. So break it, bring it back. They're a little bit trickier to do following because you really gotta, it's like you really have to catch the hoop and have the timing down. To do these at your waist, that would be down here. You can do multiples. You can do multiples up here too with one arm. You can also do these two-handed breaks I learned from bags, where you're hitting both. You just kind of go in and out. So the hoop is hitting like the back of one arm and the front of the other, depending on which is which. So like here and here. The next one would be wrap breaks, which is another one where you're up top. And you're coming from the inside and you wrap your hand around like that. The break, really, the impact of the hoop, I usually just use my index finger or sometimes my middle finger in conjunction with that. So these would be leading, leading, following, leading, leading, I'm sorry. Leading, following, leading, leading, following, leading, leading, like that. You can go back and forth. And I guess I forgot to mention, with these, your standard breaks, you can bring those lower. I like to get down and crouch a lot when I do breaks, and doing, getting it low will get your hoop, you know, low, closer to the ground, so you get a little bit more dynamic visual with that. Okay, so wrap breaks is that. 3-point wrap breaks. This is something that I learned from Ann Humphreys, and it's something that I don't really ever see people doing. So this, if there's anything new in this video, this would probably be the new thing to you. So 3-point wrap break is your hand and arm is making 3 points of contact with the hoop. You're over top here, so the first point of contact would be like the inner crook of your arm, I guess, and then you bring your arm up through it, so this is the second point of contact, and the third point would be like the wrap, so it's like the same as this, except your arm is all the way wrapped around. It's also kind of like the chicken grip, if you've learned that. If you ever go like this, it's that same grip, but you do it as a break. So it's like that. You have to be pretty fast to get it. You can keep going back and forth. If I do it back and forth, it's more of a 2-point break. I don't typically get my hand all the way like gripped. It's more like, it ends up more like this. So it'd be like, and to do a following on that, I typically always have to turn with that, so I'll show you what that would look like. Come around. So I'm following the hoop all the way around, and it's like, as it comes around, you just kind of, your arm kind of comes and follows after it and grabs it and then whips it out. And the kind of cool thing about these breaks is you can really add a lot of drama and pause with that, because you really, if you stop it for a second, you have a firm grip on the hoop and you can kind of just completely stop or something. You can also then stop and whip it off your body by just, you're here, you lift your arm up and then just around. So that's a way to transition to off body. And then, let's see, 3-point wrap breaks. Knee breaks are something that I don't really do. I thought I'd just cover them real quick to be kind of complete, but it's when the hoop is coming around your body and you bring your knee up and break it and it goes the other way. I have some back issues, so I can't really bring my knee up and the hoop down. You can do it from the shoulder if you can get your knee all the way up or at your waist. So can play around with that. Rachel Luss does that a lot. You can watch some of her videos and you'll see her doing it. So, and then there's the other knee breaks where the hoop is just going around one leg and you flip your legs back and forth like this and it breaks. And it would be almost the same motion on your ankles. Rachel Lust again does the knee breaks and Tiana does the ankle breaks. You'll see that. She does workshops on it. And let's see, the next type of break would be elbow hooping breaks. I'm not sure if you count that as on body or off body, but a break would be, and this is getting into the vertical plane now, like that. So as the hoop's coming down, I tend to bend down with it to just absorb some of that shock until it really gets going, and then you kind of can feel it. But you bend down, your hand comes down with the hoop, you'll feel it, like keep in contact with it and then just send it the other direction. And when it's coming up, you'll bend back with it a little. So it's like down, backing up, down, backing up. And then you can get it going pretty fast if you could just keep going back and forth or let it rotate a few times and then do breaks. So that's something you can try. The other kind of off-body stuff would be just if you're hooping around your hand. I do a lot of tracing or ghosting with my hands, so I like to do that and then break it, send it the other way. You can also do that above your head, get into the vertical plane, and you can also do breaks. This is breaking it on my body. So there's a lot of variation you can get in there. So when you're thinking about breaks, think off body as well. So I've got a little list of tips and things you can do. So first of all, you don't really even need to know how to shoulder hoop to learn breaks. You can definitely, if you can waist hoop, you can learn this for sure. If you're like a brand new hooper, you can totally do that. Also, learning breaks in conjunction with learning shoulder hooping together at the same time is a really good thing, because you can salvage the hoop if you're learning how to shoulder hoop and it's falling down. If you just break it, you'll get it going right again. And then also you can just practice like doing a break, let the hoop rotate around your body once, break it back the other way. And then adding in rotations will get you more and more comfortable with shoulder hooping. So the other tip, one of the other tips I've got is absorbing the shock of the hoop. So if you just slap the hoop and your timing's really off, the hoop's gonna get pretty crazy and fly and, you know, possibly hit you. And so definitely think about being a shock absorber. Twist with the hoop is probably like the biggest tip I can give anyone that's first learning. On a standard break, I kind of start my break here and let the hoop kind of come, and that whole time I'm kind of like absorbing the shock and slowing the hoop down gradually, and I twist with it, so it's like winding up and then unwinding. And it's really exaggerated here, but you'll get the idea. And as you get faster, you can just, you'll be able to feel that tension, and you'll know when you can hit it and when not to just hit it, because it's gonna go crazy. So if the hoop is starting to go crazy, my next tip is grabbing the hoop. So you can do breaks and just kind of grab it and that will get it back in playing. So if it's going, you can kind of just grab it to get it. You can grab it either doing these kind of breaks. I grab them oftentimes doing the wrap break, where your hand's inside and it's just your fingers, because that's a perfect way to just grab on. So, oh, and you can kind of do wrap breaks down here too, a little bit. Let's see, what's my next thing? Oh yeah, so to get a lot of combinations going, make sure you're practicing your breaks with your leading hand and your following hand. So don't just learn breaks like this, learn them going across your body as well. That will, in every single break, just about, you can do from either direction. So practice both ways. And you can definitely keep practicing breaks in the vertical plane, both on body and off. So on bodies, you could, I do these 3-point wrap breaks off body as well, or in the vertical as well. You can do pinches. It just gives you, it's a little bit different feel because you have a little more downward momentum. But I think it helps with speed and just control. So practicing vertically will help you even in the horizontal plane. Play with pausing and stalling the hoop. That's one of my favorite things to do. Is changing up tempos in my hoop dance in general. So maybe going pretty fast and then just pause it. I like to do that a lot. Grab it, grab it. So that's something to think about when you are doing breaks. My last little tip would be try blindfold hooping. If you've never done blindfold hooping in general, I highly recommend it. It really makes you focus on your point of contact at all times, because if you don't feel the hoop anywhere on your body, then, well, you probably lost your hoop. But it really makes you focus. And with breaks in particular, can just really hone your reflexes. So give blindfold hooping a try, especially with breaks. If you've never done it, just use common sense. And like I don't typically do it in here because I have stuff I can break. But if you have a wide open space or you're outside and you have pretty level ground, you should be good to go with blindfold hooping. So the next little thing I'm going to talk about is combinations. Breaks, the cool thing about them is they really let you feel the beat of the music. Standard music has 8 beats, so you can do combinations of breaks in 2s, 4s, 8s to keep something going with the rhythm. If you listen to a lot of world music, you can get a lot of different beats. There's a lot of Middle Eastern belly dancing style music. There's a lot of music out of India that uses like 5-count beats or 7-count beats. Even I've seen 15-count beats. So when you have a little bit more complicated rhythm like that, it helps if you just kind of tap to the music for a few seconds to get that kind of rhythm ingrained in you, and then you can kind of come up with a breaks combination. So I typically count a break as 1 beat, a paddle as 1 beat, a rotation around your body can be 1 or 2 beats depending on how fast the music is and how fast it's going around your body. So try to mix and match as many styles of breaks as you can, both leading and following, and come up with counts. So like this would be like 1, 2. This is a 2 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you kind of get the idea there. Or you could go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that. let's see here. So also try waltzes that have 3 beats. And there's, you don't have to listen to like classical waltzes. There's a lot of music that just kind of has a waltz tempo to it. Kind of have to dig it up. I'm on Spotify, and I do have a breaks, like a world music, different beats playlist on there, and I'll post that link down below in the comments or in the description, so you can listen to a few, you know, examples of different beats that would, you know, foster creativity when coming up with beats or break combos. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was speed breaking. Getting up your speed is not that hard to do. If you're first starting, you want to start with a mid-tempo song and just get a song that's a little bit faster and try to drill with that every beat. It helps if your song has like a, you know, good, like a pronounced beat, like you can hear it heavily in the song and it doesn't vary too much. And then you can just get faster and faster. You can, if you just want to like drill speed breaks, you can make a playlist and have like the slowest tempo and, you know, put your songs in order of tempo and then just go for it. I typically, what I do is I'll put one really fast song in my playlist for my practice that day, and I'll do breaks for like 3/4 of that song or whatever. I might flow out for a little while and then I just get going, and I get really fast that way. And I think that's really the best way to do it, is just find the right songs and just gradually build up on it, and you will get a lot faster. Let me see if I'm missing anything. And when you do get going really fast, really remember to grab the hoop if it's just getting out of control, instead of having it crack you in the nose. So either grabbing it from the inside like this, the outside like this. You can get a rap break in there, you can do that. And grab it, or you can even stall it out by grabbing it on your arm. We'll send it, or in your armpit, that will chill it out. So let's see, I think that about covers everything I was going to talk about. Oh, one other little tip is there's what I would call break zones. There's like areas on your body, like right here. These seem to be the best area to break. So when I'm breaking, I'm typically keeping my hand pretty close to my armpit. If I'm going across my body, it's a little bit, it's more out to the outer arm there. But you kind of stay in that zone. One way to get up speed is to do breaks back and forth, so leading and following, but instead of coming all the way across like this, stay right here. So instead of going 1, 2, 1, 2, bring it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my camera like cut out at the end of end of my video, but I just wanted to give a quick ending to this. So I do have also a Spotify playlist for speed breaking, for songs with a really hard tempo that you can just hear, and they're fast songs, really fast, most of them. I don't typically just go through my whole speed breaking playlist. As I mentioned, I just pick one of those songs and I'll throw it in my practice for that day. So I will put that Spotify link also in the description, so you can check that out. You can find me, I think I mentioned, maybe I got cut off, on Hoop City in the daily practice group. So if you have any questions, you can always ask me there, on LoopDLu on Hoop City. And you can also throw something in the comments down below. I think that is about it. I do also have a Pinterest board that I collect all my tutorials on, and then I also throw on other people's tutorials that like dovetail. So if I find like a really good breaks tutorial that's covering things that I didn't really address, I will throw it on that board so you can get further information. And I do that with all my tutorials, so I'll throw that link down there too. So I hope you learn something new, or if you're new to brakes, you know, I think you'll really enjoy doing them. It's probably my, I don't know, it's probably my favorite thing to do with the hoop. I do it a lot. If I was, you know, the whole desert isle, you could only do one thing forever, I'd probably just do brakes on my shoulders forever, like if I had to pick. So play around with it, have fun. If you come up with any variations and want to share them with me, that would be awesome too. So good luck with it. And I hope to talk to you all soon. Thanks.